Take 90. Ever closer and closer to that 100 mark. Not that anything special is going to happen when I reach the 100 mark, but it'll be kind of a personal accomplishment. You know, you look at these numbers, and when you're first starting out with something, you have your first episode and you're like, oh, it'll be great once I reach 10. Once you reach 10, you celebrate a little bit and you kind of say, okay, it'll be great once I reach 20. So you set these little markers, but not that anything in particular is going to happen other than the personal joy and satisfaction of reaching this next level and saying to myself, okay, I reach 100, 100 takes. Let's go for 150, because the idea is to keep it going. The idea is continuing, is playing the infinite game. Continuing with the infinite game, because we want to see the longevity of something that we enjoy doing. So we are here on Take 90, and we have a very important modification. There are not many subjects, and the first topic for today is this: smarter smartcasting. Now, I've been thinking about this and thinking about this and thinking about this. Number one, I don't want to be stubborn. Number two, a good presenter of any show, any podcast, knows the importance of needing to hear out the audience, right? So I am very fortunate. When I started out the Tino Take, when I started out smartcasting last year, I did it for my own pleasure and for the hopes. Any presenter will tell you that the main hope is always to build an audience, because that is what the number one pleasure, the passion that one has, him or herself, to do something like this is what first motivates you. But then the secondary motivation is to build up an audience. And so I've done that, and I'm happy about that. For a long time, people just listen, and that's fine. But lately, and when I say lately, I mean months. In the last months, and last year was less because there was less people respond. Like I seem to have more visibility now on Steemit, and I seem to have more interaction, a lot more interaction than what I used to do in the past. And this has a lot to do with me being part of the Italy community, me being part of the Italy Game Witness team. I'm breaking out of that kind of nomadic shell, that lone wolf shell that I tend to put myself in. And so I'm breaking out. I'm a moderator, and so I've been breaking out more with the projects that I create. It's creating more interaction. So in creating more interaction, you become more approachable as a person. And so a lot of people are feeling more comfortable because I comment. I reward people for their commenting. I reward a lot. It's sad that there isn't a whole lot more rewarding, especially people who have a good deal. If you have 5,000 or more Steam power, it really doesn't cost you anything. Actually, you benefit, because you benefit as a curator, but to rewarding comments more often creates more dialogue, especially if you're someone who's looking for dialogue, if you're someone who's looking for feedback. Reward the people who comment you, and not just one, all of them, any kind of interaction, because 10% of your voting power, if you have 5,000 or more, 10% of your voting power is going to regenerate quickly, because you want it to be able to regenerate quickly, because you want to accommodate more and more comments. But okay. What has this led to? This has led to a lot of people commenting and basically letting me know, not one, not two, not three, but nearly unanimous. I mean, it's nearly at 100%. Everyone is saying, Tino, they're too long. Your podcasts are too long. Yeah, that's cool. You break them up into sections. I'll have like maybe 5 or 6 different topics, and then that'll take me up to about an hour. But, listen, we are in the TikTokification of social media, audio, video. And so, I thought to myself, wait a minute, why be stubborn? This doesn't mean that I have to address separate topics, or this doesn't mean that I have to address less topics. It just means that I can just address a topic in a 10-minute clip. and on almost had a Freudian slip there. On DTube, that is obviously the trend at the moment, short videos. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I can maybe during the day, I can deal with a number of topics in short clips. So rather than making a long list for one show, I can still make a long list because I always have a lot of topics that I like to cover in a lot of different areas. And then, rather than having that list all be done in one take, I can break it up into takes. And now with how things are going on the DTube platform, as I'm learning the economic distribution system, I now have a lot of voting power that has been accumulated, which would allow me to be able to post more than once a day without consuming too much of my voting power, because there's a different system of voting power on DTube with respects to Steemit. So there's a different way of managing it. So now I've gotten to the point where I can manage that voting power in such a way that it would allow me to upload multiple videos, as well as have space to be able to respond to people's comments or to comment on other people's videos. So Smarter Smartcasting is this little small change. Now I will be bringing you smaller sessions, which will hopefully be easier to digest. Multiple sessions, that way we can have dialogue and discussion on each individual topic as they come up. And people don't have to sit and wait, they don't have to sit and break the show up into sections and maybe one piece today, one piece. I'll do it for you, and this is mutually beneficial to all of us. So it benefits me. It benefits Steemit. It benefits my activities on DTube, and it creates some smoothness. It creates some smoothness, and hopefully a change that will allow for a greater interaction and a greater mutual respect and a greater mutual bond between myself as a presenter and those who are listening to all of these different smartcasts that I'm putting together. So we're only going to jump on one subject today. I really, really want to introduce everyone to ACOM. ACOM just came on the scene. They've been around for a while, and it's a Steemit profile, which has, well, it's really not just a Steemit profile. It now has a Steemit profile, but it's a sort of an investment club, an experiment in governance, and they have a really good standing here on Steemit. I came across ACOM through WhatsApp, a Steemian who I've been following for a year now. I enjoy her posts. I've talked about her in the past. She's been a great inspiration for the Steam links, and I enjoy dipping in every once in a while to see her thoughts, because she knows the system well. She knows the Steemit system well, and she knows cryptocurrency well. So under her post for some time now, for several months, I always see that there's this ACOM that upvotes her and then leaves a message. And so I naturally thought, okay, this is some kind of upvote bot, some kind of upvote service. So I didn't pay much attention to it because I don't really get into those a lot. I dabbled around with them, the Boomerang and all of these other, I tried to dabble around in those, but then I kind of backed away because I said, well, whether I spend 5 Steem to get an upvote or whether I just wait for somebody to upvote me, it's all the same. I don't need to push. I have enough people who support me that I don't need to go push to have upvotes, even though I wanted to experiment with the bid bots for a little while. So I didn't pay much attention to this months ago. I said, okay, wow, that's nice. And I think there was a point where I think, because now that I know how ACOM works, that you have a token within the Steam engine that would allow you to be able to cash in on an upvote from the ACOM account, which has a very good, it's up in the hundreds of thousands of, I don't know how much exactly, but they have a good chunk of, Steam power. And so their upvote is pretty valuable. But I went to go look into it. I've invested. I've been benefiting, and it's not a bid bot. It's not a bid bot. It's an entire ecosystem, and it is very, very fascinating. it's beyond a win-win situation. I mean, if you're looking for a situation in which they win and you win, I mean, you're benefiting from this and ACOM is benefiting. I feel like I'm benefiting more than ACOM, but there's still a lot to be unveiled in this system. So I had to look at the white paper. I'm not going to go a whole lot into this right now because this will not be the only time that I talk about ACOM, but they just released an announcement that they're continuing to power up. So that's a positive. They upvote those who are part of the investment club. That's a positive. They give you TRX every week, depending on how much of their token, their native token that you're holding on the Steam engine. I mean, this is something that you really want to look into. And you guys know me well enough to know that I don't go after things like this. I don't really promote things like this unless I'm seeing an absolute win-win situation. And with this post that they posted up, I'm seeing a triple win. Those of you who have heard my gene codes, you know that in Spiral Dynamics, there's the triple win situation. I win, you win, the system that we're working within in which we're trying to be successful wins. So I win, ACOM wins, and the Steam system wins. The Steam ecosystem wins. So this post was a triple win situation for me to say, okay, this is something that I need to start promoting to the people who are following me or listening to me. Look into ACOM. If you go to my profile, well, I mean, the link is down in the post. So definitely look into ACOM. You're looking at a triple win situation if you want to get involved. They're very generous and very, very good team of well-mannered people, professional. I have nothing but good things to say. And I wanted to hold off. I still wanted to hold off to study the situation, at least another week. But I'm seeing a lot of good things within just 2 weeks. And so I got to put this out there for you. Hopefully you guys will look into it. And then, if you invest, you invest. If not, then you move on to the next thing. But it's definitely something, if you're looking for win-win situations, you're looking for something a little bit more long-term. And if you're looking for a crew of people who are really doing some interesting stuff, there's a lot of mystery in this. And I like mystery because it pushes you to delve in a little deeper to discover. So triple win situation here, ACOM people. I'm speaking from experience. It's something really good to look into. So listen, I'm not really good at this cutting it short. This is cutting it really short for me. I said I was going to go for 10 minutes, but I'm already over 10 minutes. I'm looking at the clock, but I will know from the feedback if people tell me, listen, yes, these shorter clips are easier to digest. So listen, people, look into ACOM. Okay, don't let this opportunity pass you by. As always, I'm always extremely grateful for the support, extremely grateful for the feedback, because now we get to change things up a bit and see how they go. And as always, thank you for listening. Y'all have a great day. We will catch up very soon, especially since we're having small clips here. We'll catch up very soon on other smart casts. Okay?